MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
Hey, good morning. I'm Scotty Ray along with our good friend Candace. How are you?
Yes, I'm good.
This is almost feel like Halloween sitting next to you.
It's a little deeper of an orange than it looks on camera. But I guess
on camera it looks really orangey orange.
Yeah, it looks like pumpkin orange this morning, but yeah. Anyway.
And I'm Charlie Brown. How are y'all?
Oh, goodness. Hope y'all are having a good morning, though.
Yeah, the big thing that we want to talk about this morning, and we want everyone, we're going to try to get some folks in with us tomorrow morning to discuss this before it happens, but somewhere from around 4:30, I got here 4:30 and started getting everything ready this morning, and we were sitting at that level 3 on our weather.
Right.
Sometime in between there and 5:50 a.m., they upped it to a level 4 now out of 5, which means there's only one notch worse.
Right.
This is looking to be, after I read deep into this, a straight line wind event. Can there be tornadoes in this? Yes. Last week what we had was, as these storms were coming near us, tornadoes were ahead of it, and they would spawn off. This one, if there are tornadoes, will be inside the thunderstorms as they pound through. They'll be within that. So here's what the National Weather Service is giving us. That's the winds. Let me pull this up here and I changed the wrong one. That's just like me. Let me pull it up a different way here. But that's the winds. We're at, we'll look here at the winds showing that there are sustained winds of 25 to 35, gust of 50 plus. Now, within the storm, Candace, they're talking 70 plus.
And the timing of this is 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.?
Changed. And let me pull that up so we can do that. It is now 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. is the severity of this. And here's what the National Weather Service has for us. Let me go back.
Because I know tomorrow is a virtual learning day.
That's good.
Which means the kids will, be out of school. But
right there.
Make arrangements.
From Jackson, Mississippi, east all the way to the Bama line, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you live west of Jackson, Mississippi, lunch to 5 p.m. So, and this will be an afternoon event for sure. Goodness.
I hope it, I always hope it doesn't get really bad.
Now, within the storm, as I just mentioned, it's these straight line winds, and I know I'm babbling about all this, but I'm concerned.
No.
We got those 55-mile-an-hour straight line winds that could happen within this. As these storms roll through, you can expect 80 miles an hour within the actual storms. So most likely you're going to be without power tomorrow at some point because the wind's going to be blowing, it's going to snap trees, and it will just be numerous power outages. Now, we also know that straight line winds can look like a tornado when it goes through an area.
Yeah.
I've seen buildings and sheds just...
Right. Well, I think that was what supposedly we had when all the trees went down in Collinsville a while back. And we all thought it had to have been a tornado, but it wasn't. It was the straight line winds, they said.
So this is one of those, we got 24 hours, maybe a tad more before it gets here. So again, when I say all this about having a weather plan, that means if you're somewhere and you hear a warning issued, you know where you're going. You don't have to think about, okay, whose house do I call? Plan that out today, where I'm going, where I'll be, especially anytime after, let's say, 2 o'clock. Where will you be from 2 to 8 p.m. tomorrow night? Right.
Especially, like I said, with the kids being out of school, have a plan for the kids to be, with an adult somewhere. Even if they're, old enough to stay by themselves, they still need a plan if the weather gets bad and they're there. So.
This is just one of those, and we're going to be talking to official Storming Norman will join me tonight at 7 p.m. as he and I will go through and we'll recap this weather and do it street by street, talk about what's coming. He's a meteorologist, very good at what he does, very trusted in our area, a great person. He's going to be here with us to discuss this. So join me for a live event tonight beginning at 7 p.m. Boy, I almost feel out of breath and tired before the weather gets here.
There's a couple of people commenting about my shirt. Thank y'all. They said that they like the colors.
Yeah, it is cute as all get out there. I just thought pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
It does look pumpkin-y on.
And you've got those big sleeves that are great to get hung on things.
Yeah, they do. They're bad about getting hung on the back of the chair usually.
What was that? What was that?
I don't know why I wear this to work, because when I'm shampooing somebody, I have to take them and like twist them up, like that. But anyway.
What was the show with Kevin Bacon? Was it about the dancing show? What was that?
Footloose.
Footloose.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember the scene when he gets his foot hung on the tractor and he can't jump off like he wants to and he has to brave it out? Shirts will do that.
Yeah. I know. I mean, they do get hung on this little thing right here, back here.
I can't remember. I'm going to go out on a limb because it really fits that. It was a movie years ago. It wasn't Heaven Can Wait, but it was something like that, to where a guy, the drag strip where they go toward the end of the cliff and you're supposed to bail out. Well, his leather jacket gets hung.
Oh.
And he goes off the cliff. Before he died, his girlfriend was pregnant. He comes back later to teach his son from heaven to teach his son not to do what he did. And it was a great story. I just can't remember the name of it.
Well, hopefully nothing happens where I have to bail out real quick and get hung on this chair, because the chair's going to be coming with me.
It's going. So watch your chairs. Good morning to y'all. Thank y'all for making us a part of your day. It is so special that you do that.
It is. We always appreciate y'all's comments and you joining us every morning. It just makes for a good day.
Now, there's a lot of local things that went on, and I just got word of this, and I'll tell you what I know at this point. Over the weekend, in the Meridian area, an infant died. A 4-month-old child has died in the Meridian community. At this point, it is being called a crib death. We pass along condolences to this family.
Yes.
I don't have a name to release.
Right.
There's going to be an autopsy performed to make absolutely sure what happened. But can you imagine losing your 4-month-old?
That just makes my heart hurt even thinking about it.
Now
It really does. I can't imagine that. I can't.
This happened on Saturday, was rushed to the hospital. By the time they got to the hospital, what I'm being told is the child had already passed away. They tried to revive, but just was not possible. So, again, condolences to that family in our community that lost their child at 4 months old.
Yes.
That is, it's horrible, isn't it?
It is.
Other news that happened. We're going to get to the big news of gunfire in Meridian. Yes. Early this morning, right before daylight, he's back. It's warm.
Oh, goodness.
Naked Man is back in the news today. Just really loves that stretch of North Hills down there from Firestone down toward Northcrest Baptist.
So, I guess I got a question. So, if they pick him up, if they ever get him and pick him up, do they have clothes on hand to slap on him before they take him to the jail?
I think they carry blankets in patrol cars. I think, for somebody who's in a wreck.
Of course, I don't know that they would take him. I mean, would they take him to jail? I don't know.
I wouldn't want to be, because that's kind of against the law to be running around naked.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to sit on the seat after him. I hope they got some Clorox wipes.
Oh, my goodness.
Not that I'm going to be put in the back seat anytime soon, but it's something to think about.
Yeah.
They arrest them all the time.
Yeah. He might need some mosquito spray.
It's going to get bad.
Mosquitoes will tote you off in Mississippi.
Yeah, yes, they will. But again, this has been an ongoing matter in the Meridian area. Same guy for years.
Right.
One day, he's just...
we do kind of poke fun at it every time we mention it. But, there are children who probably see this. It's not a good thing.
That's why I bring it up. There's been a lot of people, well, why would you even bring it? Because it's newsworthy, and you need to know so that your children don't see this.
He's kind of usually in the same area.
Yes.
Roundabout. I mean,
North Hills, if you're going down it and you get near that red light there at, Advance Auto, Firestone, anywhere from there north, you're bound to see him east or west on the sides of the road there. Yeah. Did one time make it over there near the Coca-Cola plant once.
Goodness.
He had really done some walking that night. And we have no women that do this. Only a towel lady once reported.
What's that Ray Stevens song?
They call him the street?
Yeah.
Boogie there, boogie there. That happened in our community there. Now, as we move to some other stories that occur overnight, by now, if you've read anything that's happened on our page, you know that there was a shooting last night in Meridian. A 14-year-old boy has been shot. He was rushed to the hospital. From what I am told, he has made it through surgery. We don't know much more than that because you get into HIPAA laws. We just know that the child was taken to the hospital, has survived so far. As we look at the scene of this, and I hope I can mute this to where you don't hear this. Let me show this. This was the scene last night. St. Francis Apartments is where this was. As you'll see the bright lights of the police coming in. This was sent to me by someone that was on the scene last night. And as you come across this, the ambulances all arrive and take this person, this 14-year-old boy, to the hospital. A lot of police presence. So we pass condolences. This has to be, as a parent, would be horrible to learn that your child. Now, unconfirmed reports, what we're getting, we're waiting for statements from the Meridian Police Department. It is an ongoing investigation from the people that were in the area. I'm told that this was possibly, instead of a drive-by, it was, I guess you would call it a walk-by.
Right.
A group of 8 or 10 people in a huddle with guns that shot. They ran toward Old Marion Road. Police went in that direction. I don't know what they have found at this point, but hopefully we'll be getting more reports as to what they've uncovered.
So the 14-year-old has not passed away.
No.
He's made it through surgery. So prayers for his family.
A shot in the chest is where he was hit.
Him and his family, prayers for them.
Now,
Hope that he recovers from that.
We do. And, you know, this is not the first thing. As we look at things that were going on right before that shooting happened, I got reports of shots fired on Church Avenue in Meridian. Then later on in the night, let me just give you a list here of what went on last night. It was a very active night. 17th and 20th Avenue shots were fired. Goodness. We had the one person shot there at Francis' apartment. Then over at Highland Park and 40th Avenue, 10 shots were reported in that area last night. We go to Myrtlewood Drive, which is really close to Highland Park. It's a one-way street, one-way in cul-de-sac. A home was shot on the 2600 block. A bullet went through a window there. Old Marion Road Apartments, a man shot at a woman last night in an argument. And also shots reported in the streets of the 4100 block of Paulding Street. So it was a lot of activity that went on last night. Fortunately, only one person was hit. You know, shooting into a home is just not acceptable.
Right.
And I urge anyone that sees anything to tell someone, to police. If you don't want your name involved, shoot me an inbox. I'll be glad to pass along your information, because some people are a little, well, they don't want their name brought into things, and I get that.
You know, all this activity that goes on every day, I would like to know, because I mean, do we hear, or is the mayor or the police chief, how often do they come on, I guess, and address this issue? Because I don't hear of it very often. I hear of it sometimes.
Do you remember that video that Governor Kay Ivey done, where she goes,
yeah,
I hadn't heard from Jimmy.
I'm just wondering.
Jimmy, address it. We'll be glad to let Jimmy come on.
I mean, I hear it, which is a good thing, you know, for our show, that we get good, you know, comments about how, you know, you keep people informed and stuff. But I mean, I think it's a roundabout a community effort. You know what I'm saying?
It absolutely is.
And it should be an effort of, you know, our leaders in the community.
We do need to hear from Jimmy.
Yeah.
Every time there's a shooting, the mayor, in my opinion, should tell us something. What do I know? What are we doing about it?
I just think it needs to be addressed, not behind closed doors, but all the time behind closed doors. It needs to be put out there for the community. You know, it makes you feel more positive about leadership.
Well, I mean, let's talk about leadership here as we look to Ukraine. We brought this up one day this week. Watch that guy. He's got all of Russia after him, and he's a little bitty country, but every day he stands up and he goes, we're still here, and I'm telling my people what's going on. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
But
I mean, even if you can't really do anything 100% about it, you still need to be, you know, you need to let people know how you feel about it, what's going on, you're trying, you know, I don't know.
This is where we are in the investigation.
Anyway, yeah, right.
Tell them, Candace.
I'm just stating, you know. Anyway.
That's what should be done. We all know that.
Yeah.
They just don't seem to. Anyway, let's talk about yesterday afternoon. I had a chance to get out and about, and I dropped by the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Dropped in to see Steve. There's a lot going on there, and if you've got anything that you're going to be doing this weekend with gardening, they invite you by. Flowers, shrubs, they do it all for you there. Well, all of that good smelling stuff that comes in the bag that you poke around your flowers.
Oh yeah, It smells so wonderful.
It has an aroma, but it sure makes plants grow.
Yeah.
Fertilizer and tomato plants. If you're growing a garden, want tomatoes, or maybe you want watermelons, they've got all the seeds for you there, and you can get everything rolling there as the ground gets broke up.
That was a new brand, Lemon Boy. I've never heard of a Lemon Boy
Lemon
tomato.
Boy. Well, there you go. So I didn't know they had brands of them.
Yeah. Well, different names, but yeah.
Whether you need a shirt to keep cool, a T-shirt, they've got those along with hats and jeans, anything like that there in the work department. Comfortable shoes, the Twisted X, along with work boots for that man that gets out, woman that does that job every day. You'll find it at the Farm Supply. And that's real man's tools there, or lady tools. Yeah, those are tough. They'll put calluses on your hands if you're not careful.
That's right.
And blisters. But they've got gloves right around the corner to help you out there. See it from your pets to skillets to over anywhere. And here they've got it for you at the Farm Supply. Sweet feed and horse feed. All right there for you with guns and ammo. Where? Exit 151 off the interstate. See them today at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. They'll help you out.
No matter what hat you wear, if you're hurt on the job, you're gonna need me. I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. Under workers' comp law, you're entitled to certain benefits. But when you're released from the doctor, someone's got to be there to make sure you get a fair settlement. While you're healing, we'll be fighting for you. We've helped thousands of our injured clients get their medical bills paid and recover lost wages. And we're ready to help do the same for you today. One call, that's all.
Patrick Allen Companies services and repairs all brands of overhead doors, residential and commercial. Our service technicians are factory trained and have over 125 years of combined experiences. At Patrick Allen Companies, we are not interested in being the biggest, just the best. At Patrick Allen Companies, our philosophy is simple. We want to give you more than you expect. We are just 4 miles south of Meridian on Highway 145. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we begin your day. Also, we had another little thing go on yesterday afternoon. Off of North Hill Street, if you know where Northcrest Baptist Church, if you're sitting there at the red light and you were going toward Highway 19, you were to take a left. You go down to the next stop sign, there's a store there. Well, there was a gentleman in trying to buy some gas. And, well, he just happened to notice a money bag laying on the counter, and he thought, boy, I'd sure like to have that. So he snatched and grabbed and ran, jumped in his car, and he took off. Wasn't long before the Popo arrived to, well, do a search for him. We're waiting for details on that also this morning. But inside the bag, I don't think there was any cash. I think it was just a few checks. Right. But still, it wasn't his, and he shouldn't have done it.
That's right.
That will get you time as well. Don't be thieving.
That's right. If you didn't work for it and it ain't yours, don't take it.
That's right. But there's so many people that don't have our same philosophy. And you'd be shocked as to how many people get mad when you show a criminal and what they done. Well, they're really a good guy. They're criminal. They stole something. Yeah. If you go to the police department, we will show your picture. That's just how that stuff kind of works there. I just
think, I mean, you know, before people do a crime or any kind of a bad thing, I mean, you think about it usually before you do it.
Yeah, and so what do they call it, premeditated? Or
I guess, yeah. And, yeah. So, I mean, you know, if you get heat after that, don't fuss about it.
But, you know, and here's the funny thing is, you remember the video that we showed a week or two ago of the car that was stolen in Meridian? They drive up to the gas pump, and he just thinks, wow, there's a car, and he gets out of his and goes over and steals it.
Yeah. I can't stand a thief. I'm sorry.
None of us can.
I just can't stand it.
We had another issue last night. We're still waiting on details on all of this, and I brought this up this morning at 6:30 about a temporarily, and I guess this is the wording for it because I thought long and hard, how do I word this before I type it up? And the best I could come up with it was temporarily escaped. The Meridian Police Department delivers people who are incarcerated to Kemper County to the jail, the facility, the Kemper Neshoba Correctional Facility. They were en route there, and somewhere right along there as you get to Ernie Watts Tractor Place, right there on the right-hand side before you reach Kemper Academy, and you've got the Dollar Tree store on the left. The inmate got out of the car somehow. There's a lot of guessing as to how that happened. I'm waiting on an official report, so we'll know more about that. The Meridian police officer never lost sight of the inmate.
Right.
before long, the Kemper County Sheriff's Department arrived. They surrounded the area, and they helped him get him back into custody, and he was transported from there in a Kemper County Sheriff's Department car onto the facility and processed. It sounds as though he will most likely get some new charges. I think there was some damage done to the car also. He'll have to pay for that as well. But boy, what an evening. It started out with that, and then we progressed to a shooting. And that's got to be a situation for a police officer to be in. I'll say that.
That would be a scary thing.
But all is well now. It was just for a few minutes there, and all the boys in blue showed up from Kemper County to help out, and we appreciate that. What we got folks saying this morning? I hadn't had a chance to glance over.
Let me see. Just a lot of good mornings.
Okay, glad to
Denise
have them.
Burnside, good morning. Laura and Todd Lee, I guess.
Yeah.
If they steal and then they lie. I think that's what she said. Pat Banks, good morning. And Peggy Joyner, good morning. Nancy Harris, good morning to you. Hope y'all are all having a good morning. Jackie Thompson.
We've got some special guests coming on Thursday to talk about the fellow Christian athletes. Hillary will be here, and she'll be telling us about this big event that's coming up that's going to be out at the Evangel Temple on Thursday the 2nd. I believe is when this is. Evangel Temple on April 2nd is when that will be. So that's going to be actually Saturday.
Okay. And it's going to be a women's conference, and it's titled Becoming Whole. It's going to feature Tracy Strawberry. That's 10 a.m. to 12. Doors open at 9.
And again, it will go to help out and fund the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in our area. They do a lot for schools and school children. So if you can make it out for that, you can find that and much more on our webpage at sammedia.network under Scotty Ray and Candace. We got all those things that are going on in the community. If you've got one, we'd love to hear from you.
That's right.
I brought this up this morning also as we were talking about children. A newborn child was found. This is right in Mississippi on the state line, left on a doorstep, a newborn child deceased. They were looking for the mother who dropped it off. They do know that a mother left it on the steps, but after they found it, the child had deceased already. Sad news. That's in the state of Mississippi. Those are a few of the things that are happening in our community. Did you see this with the cheat sheets with Joe?
I was trying to get dressed this morning and heard about it. I was listening to the news in the background, and what's his name? Peter Ducey, the guy that always asks the questions out there in the news media people. He was telling about this.
He's got cheat sheets. If you'll see it there, if they asked us about Putin, don't stray from your card. It's just like being in first grade, cue cards. But it's the president of the United States. Well, okay, that made me feel good. How about y'all?
Yeah. So the people, he already has the questions.
Oh, yeah. He knows exactly what's going to be thrown at him, and he's got, what if they ask this? This is how you answer it. So Biden doing his best to answer that.
It's ridiculous. Having him speak is like play. I mean, seriously, they're saying how
you were going to say roulette is what ran through my mind.
Russian roulette. I mean, that's kind of like, but ironic. But anyway, but having him speak is like that. I mean, you never know when whatever he says and comes out of his mouth is going to be like a bombshell go off or cause a bombshell to go off because, like they said this morning, like I've heard people say time and time again, other countries are watching this in real time as he's speaking, not the next day when they hear it on the news. They're watching it, And so they're not hearing when they do corrections and all this kind of stuff. They're hearing what comes out of his mouth. So if he is not accurate on what he says, he does not need to speak.
Do you remember, and this is what,
need to be president,
it even kind of resembles him. Do you remember, I don't know which episode it was or which movie it was, but the Police Academy series where the commander really had no clue and he was he bumbled and he would say anything? That's who he reminds me of, and he sort of looks like him.
Yeah. It's scary. It really is that his words could cause an uproar. I mean, it could cause a war to start between our country and another country. Ukraine
has released the names of 600 spies from Russia worldwide. That's got to hurt Russia.
Yeah.
He is getting ready to pitch the largest, and we don't know if Joe mentioned you where he stands on this in West Virginia, but he's probably going to come down to the key to this. The largest tax hike, again, tax hike $5.8 trillion is being requested. Now, I think they've changed the name of it,
Right.
but we'll find out more about this. And what is so sad is a lot of times these things are put together, no one ever reads them. And then your grandchildren and their grandchildren will be paying for that one day.
You know, I think it's a news reporter or media person, Laura Logan, I think is her name. Did you ever watch her?
Don't know her.
I can't repeat what she said because it was so much information, but look her up and see what she said.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. And yeah,
But they say that she is a very a good source to information.
Oh, boy, I listened to about 45 seconds of her and I got tired real quick.
She's very, though, smart about all this stuff. She studies like all these policies. She studies what's going on. She looks into it and, you know, weighs facts and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I think she's a good source.
But Megyn Kelly would wink at me and I'd go, I like her.
Anyway, Scotty.
I couldn't help it. She just drew my attention better.
But seriously, this lady had a lot of stuff to say the other day about the Ukraine and Russian situation, and it was totally kind of different. It was kind of like she dropped a bombshell. It was actually that was what the headline of the video was, and I did share it on Facebook. But anyway, you might want to check that out.
Yeah, we find out as we go back to a quick topic of this thing of what went on at the award show. Did you even notice this?
What?
Bob Saget's name was never brought up during the Academy. Well, I didn't watch it, so I wouldn't have known. But headlines tell us now that his name was forevermore never brought up. And such an impact that Bob Saget had in Hollywood. Well, they spent plenty of time running the governor of Florida down, but they couldn't find a moment to bring to light someone who had just lost his life a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
We hate that.
That is sad.
It's a shame that because he done so much for people. I mean, America's funniest home videos and way back, everybody just felt like he was part of their family.
Yeah. It's tragic what happened to him. Whatever the case, that's a tragic thing.
Now, as we keep digging deeper into this, Will Smith has made an apology as of this morning to Chris Rock. Now, P. Daddy or Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him, said that they'd made up. And as insiders are saying, that has not happened. They have not spoken one iota. Then there's the other end. And we put this out, it was a lot of comments of, do you think it was live
Set up
or a setup? Yeah. Some say it was definitely set up. Others say, no, that shouldn't have happened, that he done it out of. But it was, although it's almost like it was not classy. Whatever.
Not at all. But look, I've lost my temper many times. I have. I'm not an actor though that's in front of millions of people on TV. But it could have been, it could have been taken care of behind closed doors.
Absolutely, but this is what you would call a black tie event.
Right.
You don't, when you're in that setting, you don't act on emotions. You calmly, you handle it later, as you just pointed out. But that was not the case there that night. And
I understand you standing up for your wife or whatever. If it was a true, real thing that happened and not staged. But, she has it's called alopecia, where you lose your hair.
Yeah.
And so it's a medical condition. And he was making fun of that when he said G.I. Jane because she had to shave her head. But now she went on social media and shaved her head in front of all of America.
And Chris Rock said, I had no idea the lady had, he said, I had no clue.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't know she was sick.
Right.
And, but it went south really quick.
But I don't know. What about all these? Have you ever watched a roast of someone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They touch on personal stuff.
They burn you.
And yeah. So you got Chris Rock up there that's going to make fun. He's going to poke fun. And I guess you never know, maybe if you're going to be the one he's making fun of.
I don't think I'd do well at a roast.
Yeah, I probably, because I've heard him say some really.
Oh.
Remember when Dean Martin would get up there and roast people?
Some are funny, and then nowadays they take it to that next level to where you really shouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the news from Hollywood.
Of course, this was
there.
not a roast. This was the
Again, it
Oscars.
was a place where it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But again, no one would be talking about the Oscars had it not happened also. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of where they are on all of that. That's your Oscar update. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Eddie Seipel. Hadn't seen you in a while. Hope everything's good, that y'all done well. Be prepared for some more water headed your way up there at Seipel's Mills tomorrow. Get a chance, go visit Eddie and his family sometime.
Yeah.
Been there since 1780-something.
Yeah.
Who else can say that?
I know.
And we're getting tons of folks saying,
oh, yeah, it was
fake.
Yeah. And they say that Chris Rock, I think he's gotten tons of offers for him to, or maybe he's booked, booking shows or whatever if he does stand up still. I can't talk this morning, y'all.
He went to a party afterwards, and they said he never brought it up to anyone in the crowd, and you would never even know that it happened, that he just acted like all is good. So
yeah,
we give him the Data Boy Award this morning for going that extra mile there and taking care of things. Mm-hmm. More on the way with Scotty Ray and Candace. Y'all don't go anywhere. We got bound to have something that you're going to want to hear, so stay close.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville has these great savings this week. Cuties or Halos, a 3-pound bag, $6.99. Fresh cantaloupes, $2.99 each. Dixie Crystal Sugar, a 4-pound bag, $2.89. Brian Wieners, a 12-ounce package, $1.69. Family Pack boneless pork chops, $2.49. And certified Angus beef ribeye steaks family pack, $12.49 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Since 1985, Miss Rodney's Muffler Shop has been taking care of you. As a matter of fact, they're ranked as the #1 muffler dealer in the South Central Mississippi area. Still located on 8th Street, where you can conveniently drop in. Well, they offer you all the Flowmaster and dual pipes that you'll need, any custom bending for your vehicle. They offer mufflers, muffler deletes, and even factory stock mufflers. They can even install a converter for you. 482-8211. 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and they're open until noon on Saturday.
And welcome back. We are Scotty Ray and Candace. We're local here in the Meridian area, and we say thank you. Yes. All our friends in Philadelphia, Newton, no matter where you're watching from on the television side, we appreciate it. And the numerous towns across the state and other parts of the United States that watch us online. If you've never took part of this, you can communicate with us online live while we're here. So we'd love to hear from you.
And share this. Share this with a friend.
You can find it on YouTube as well. Sam Media is how you'll find that there. All right, let's do some things that happened in history. This guy, there's no other way to word it other than he altered history in the way that you shop. The family, in my opinion, is never compared to the gentleman that he was. I have heard so many good things on this man of when he owned, of just showing up and thanking people that work for him. And who are we talking about? He has a birthday today, or he would have had a birthday. Sam Walton was born on this day back in 1918.
That's right.
I'd never heard anybody on a personal level say bad things about him. That he would walk around, shake all of his employees' hands when he came to town, and there's so few of them that don't have that business philosophy now.
I wonder when Walmart actually started. The first Walmart was ever built.
I should know that.
It's come a long way. Goodness.
It has.
Gosh.
I'd have to Google it at this point. Yeah. As we talked about earlier of my heroes, of who I look up to, this guy is right at the top. In 1945, and I bring this back up, he was in the news one day this week. But this is what happened this May back in 45. He was promoted to full colonel. One of the first of Americans that got that within only 4 years. He was starred, and we're talking about the guy from It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart. I like him. Yeah. A man among men, as they say.
I like listening to him talk.
Oh, yeah. He had that it was just Americana.
Yeah.
And then I guess the closest thing that would come to that would be, Fonda, Henry Fonda. He also had one of those voices that were...
Oh, yeah.
I want to say they roomed together at one point, and they were both starving actors. But it's hard to beat Jimmy Stewart. Mr. Smith goes to Washington. We need a few more Mr. Smiths headed up there. I know this girl is famous. I don't know a lot of her movies. You may know more than I do about her. But Ellie McPherson celebrates a birthday today.
I think she was more of a supermodel, if I'm not mistaken. Elle Pearson.
Yeah.
I think she was wasn't she like a swimsuit?
I think she done that also and then done some
Sports
movies after
Illustrated
that.
model or
All I can
something.
tell you is she should have got a
She's
spot
pretty.
with Gleam. I mean, she's got some choppers there. You can't miss those teeth for miles around.
She's pretty.
She could have.
Yeah, Walmart was founded in 1962. Thank you, Denise Burnside.
Yeah,
She
looking
looked
that
it
up.
for us. 1962.
And
I
then-
didn't realize it'd been that long.
And then somewhere, Sam's rolled out of that. We should have had indications of this coming early of what was coming to country music because we had those boys that look like hippies show up called Kentucky Headhunters. This was a great song, but it was. Brady Seals was born on this date, and he was one of those with big hair in Little Texas.
Uh-huh.
It was really strange to see men with back
Long
in the day when
hair.
because everybody else in country music had short Randy Travis hair, and then here's these guys that. Well, we'll leave it at that.
Well, yeah. Well, Billy Cyrus, remember he come out with that?
Yeah, but he didn't have. Let's
Long,
look at that.
short.
Yeah, he didn't quite have it that much.
No.
He had the mullet.
Yeah.
These guys had
The middle
Hair.
one has kind of a mullety look, and the one with the guitar.
Little Texas, and God bless Texas. What a great song. And of course, they did film that at South Fork. That was a good one there. Now, I went back and listened to this at 4 o'clock this morning just because I hadn't heard it in many, many moons. I'm going to buy 5 copies for my mama if I ever make it to the cover of the Rolling Stones. It was this day in 1973 that Dr. Hook finally made it to the cover of the Rolling Stones. It would, as you read here, it would sell more copies at that time than Rolling Stones had ever sold before.
Goodness.
When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman, if you remember that song, and they also done that song, and they done it as a joke. We get $10,000 a show, and back in 1973, that was a lot for a concert to be paid. But they would finally, as a joke, make the cover of the Rolling Stone. Pretty neat.
Yeah, that is neat.
As we look at other things, this would be the very last night that you would sit down and watch a new episode of this. We all sat for many years with Harvey Korman and different others that were on the show. And it ended tonight back in 1978. The Carol Burnett Show aired its last show.
And of course, they're making fun of Scarlett O'Hara and Gone with the Wind.
Did you remember watching that episode?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, they walked over, just janked the curtains down, and they threw the curtain rod on her. How they done that without just rolling in the floor with a live audience and keeping a straight face, I don't know.
Well, a lot of times they did start laughing in the middle of the skit, and stuff. So I love to watch the old shows. I say that all the time, but it just takes me back and just makes me feel good to be able to sit and watch those funny shows that were funny and they didn't have all the,
Ugly
words and all that stuff in it all the time. But
how true is that? 1980, and many people have covered this song. Kenny Chesney's even done it. Jeff Bates did an incredible version of this live in concert. Others have tried, but no one has ever surpassed or made it as good as this original song. We're talking, who is it? The man among men, Conway.
Yep, Conway Twitty.
I'd love to lay you down. And what a song that was.
Yeah.
This was, I think he was on a golfing episode here
He
during this
looks a
picture.
little golfish.
And, Conway was one of the first to think, hey, I got a lot of fans, and let's build Twitty City. And he did that. And it would be, the family got bought out by the 700 Club, the Christian group, and they took over Conway's house and made that their headquarters. PTL Club, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And Twitty City was no more after that. But the first superstar to really have that.
All these country singers would, they had Twitty City, and of course Dollywood. Gillies had a bar, So
Largest
maybe Gilly.
nightclub in the world.
Yep.
And the girls get prettier at closing time. That's a good one. Let's go back to 1997. What was the #1 song on the country charts that day? Well, it was a little redhead from Oklahoma who had it. How was I to know? Great song by Rebo. They had to get fans and stuff to make this picture here to make her hair flow like that. You ever done that?
What?
Get your hair flying behind you there with a fan?
No, mine probably all go in one piece. I got so much hairspray on it.
Speaking of hair, the funniest thing, I used to, back in the early 90s, I didn't hardly miss an episode of TNN. Y'all remember when that was around?
Yeah.
And I would watch Crook and Chase. And what was his name that was on there that was doing the rope tricks that night? And he was twirling it. It'll come to me in a second. Anyway, it caught his hairpiece. Pat Boone.
It caught his
hairpiece, and his hairpiece went floop.
Gosh, that would be horrible.
And he tried to pick it up and slap it back on his head, but it was toupee heaven then.
Oh, my goodness. That would be awful.
Yep. One of those little live moments that make you giggle.
Nothing like, I would say that all the time because I always get caught doing, like, sipping my coffee or something. Nothing like live TV.
Oh, it'll happen. All right, this was a sad day for us, and this has only been 2 years ago. One of the purest sounding guys that ever picked up a microphone, and you couldn't help but like him. He was so likable. They put on a little weight in the end, and that may have contributed to his death, as he did get COVID, and at one point they said he died from that, and then his wife come back and said, no, it was not COVID. But on this date, 2 years ago, we lost one of the best there ever was, Joe Diffie. If the devil danced in empty pockets, I'd have a hole in mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the list goes on. Is it cold in here?
He was a really good artist, for sure.
Ships that don't come in, of course, you know. And then Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox, John Deere Green. The list goes on. You can sit back and think of Joe Diffie, of what did he do for that voice.
Just upbeat songs.
So did you ever have anybody pay tribute to you by climbing a water tower and writing your name on it?
I did not.
Candace.
No.
Where have you been? That's true love when that happens.
Oh, goodness, no. I never got my name on a water tower.
We've all seen that, and then I guess no one ever thought of it until Joe came along and put music to it. Something to think on there. More on the way with Scotty Ray and Candace on this early Tuesday morning. Y'all stay close.
The Back Porch of Meridian, located on Highway 19 North, invites you by to take a look at their custom-made woodworking, from wooden tables, chairs, swings, and day beds. Take a step inside and visit the local meat section, where you'll find ground beef, pork chops, and even local milk from Beeson Farms. And if you need a utility trailer, they offer single, tandem, car haulers, enclosed trailers. You name it, they have it. Ask about financing. It's all at the Back Porch of Meridian, 5570 Highway 19 North. As the days get warmer, the grass starts growing. Drop in and visit with Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 in Sicalina, where they've got a complete line of the #1 lawnmower in America, Skag. Whether you're a homeowner or a lawn care service, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower just for you. Plus, they carry X-Mark tractors and any part that you may need for your existing tractor or lawnmower. Drop in and see Cole or Buttermilk today. Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, 601-626-8759.
Big trucks, they're loud, intimidating, and they'll run over anything in their way. I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. We won over $1 billion for the injured because we don't settle for less. Call me today and let me help you get the money you deserve. One call, that's all.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. It is Tuesday. Again, we remind you of storms that are moving into the area. We'll have a special edition tonight at 7 o'clock as we'll go live to talk about weather. Make sure to join us either here on Facebook, YouTube, or any of the fine places that we're located. Join us. We'd love to have you. Now, there's nothing worse than losing your job.
Right.
It's even worse when there's a scandal behind it and you got to go home. You got to come up with some reason that you don't have a job, or fake it and leave every morning and act like you've got a job. But it's even harder when it makes national headlines of why you got fired. Now, this is less than $1,000.
Yeah. But
4 people got fired.
less than $1,000. But what was it spent on?
Yeah, shame. Now, everybody in the United States knows your name. Bankers, New York City, who went out and used their company credit card to go to, what's a nice way of wording these type clubs? Entertainment for gentlemen, gentlemen's club, we'll call it that, who went there and might have slid the company credit card and then tried to hide the fact that they put it on the company credit card.
I mean, don't you know that's going to show up, on receipts?
All 4 of them got fired over the situation. Now they got to go home and tell their wives of why they were there. I bet that flashlight in them eyeballs is bad.
Oh, yeah.
So that's happening in New York City.
That would have been, bad.
Now, if you are a smoker, Walmart is cutting back. And I would expect this to move further than where it is. What we've got is California, Florida, Arkansas, and New Mexico. They're going to stop selling cigarettes in those stores. I would expect that. Again, they haven't announced it, but I would expect it's usually a trend that happens somewhere else that makes it to all those stores.
Yeah.
They're doing away with that. Wow.
It says it'll free up the store to install more self-checkouts. Because that's what we need is self-checkout.
Check yourself out. Yep, absolutely.
Unless I have one or two items, I despise it.
Oh, it takes jobs away from people.
Okay, and also, ladies, you'll know, or guys too, if you take your kids to Walmart with you, and a lot of us have to, who wants to stand there and scan $200 worth of groceries when you got a kid that you're trying to keep from running off? And I don't know.
It's not a big hit with people.
It is not.
That is.
Some people love it, and that's great. Like if you just have one or two, or just even a few items, it's ideal for that. But
they're gonna give you more there.
Yeah.
Pay yourself there to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yesterday, this was big news there. I don't know. I posted this yesterday, and I hope you had a chance to see this. This was an incident as we look at, where was this? In Pennsylvania. And I'll show you a clip of this, of how this turned out.
Oh, my goodness.
This was a wreck that happened on the interstate. As we come down through here.
Were icy, too. Oh, my goodness.
And it just kept piling up, car after car. And this gentleman will get out of his car. Ended up being 3 people were killed in that wreck before it was all said and done.
Well, that truck going straight into the back of the other one, that would be a horrible thing because they couldn't stop.
No, they could not. And it was several other 18-wheelers that wrecked in that. A guy gets out of his car, and his car is just taken away. But 3 people did die in that wreck. As you look at the picture of this, look at the overview of this. Look at that.
Oh, goodness.
So, well, just watch when you're traveling. It's always spooky whenever there's ice involved in anywhere on a road.
Yes.
Be careful there. Let's see some other headlines that are making it across America. $32 billion. $32 billion is getting ready to be asked for. And let's just get on the topic of what Biden is going to ask for. Why? To fund the police. These cities that have dropped out of their budgets, now the federal government has to loan them money.
This just makes me so aggravated, and I know that they could care less if I'm aggravated, but I'm sure I'm not the only American that would be aggravated about this, because back when all this mess was going on, they were burning down the cities, I never heard our president or anybody in that whole administration say, do not defund the police. Why would you want to defund the police? I mean, I heard nothing. As a matter of fact, I think our vice president was trying to raise bail money to get people out who were doing all the tearing down.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that did happen.
That's a real role model right there. But, I just think it's ridiculous that they're asking $32 billion.
Chicago, and let me see if I can find this. Here's a prime example of this. 660 cops in the wake of blaming cops for everything that they were not responsible for in Chicago alone. 660 cops retired. It just was not worth it at that point to be blamed for everything.
Well, when you're in that kind of a position and you're out there risking your life, but you don't have the backing of the people who are the heads of the community, I mean, I don't blame them at all.
No.
You have to have that support.
We go back to Chicago and look at this. And Lori Lightfoot is her name, who's the mayor of that. And she was one of those defund the police. But also at the same time, let's look at what she does here. She has 70 cops that circulate to protect her. She has a 20-officer bodyguard detail with her no matter where she goes.
Right.
And it's 70 cops that work in that detail that rotate out every day wherever she goes. But she's going to defund the police where you're not safe, but she's surrounded by 20 officers at all.
Yeah. I think she ought to be officer free, and I think she ought to walk the streets of the city that she wanted to defund the police of. That's what I think ought to happen.
Yeah, we know
she
how
ought to
that
go
works.
out in the community and do what she's supposed to do. Run the city.
I just have never understood all this, but I think America is getting ready to speak. What is this? We're coming up on April. Come November, if you didn't like any of that, you can cast a ballot to change this.
That's right.
That's right around the corner. as we see that Biden, yet again, and it's hard to even imagine that you can dip even lower than you are, but yes, in the ratings again, he's dipped again. Why? This time, females are at the top of the list going, I don't think you're handling this Russia situation properly.
Right.
People are losing as we see the gaffes. Whether you've done anything military or not, you're not looking like a leader. And people are losing confidence more and more every day.
And, when it does come time to vote, I hope that people can put aside the Democrat or Republican, title and do what is right for this country. Do what you think is going to change and turn around this mess that's been made, because it is a mess. I mean, and it's getting worse by the day. Usually
Americans vote by what's in their pocketbook, of what's in their wallet after they get paid and pay their bills. And that's generally how they vote.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what line of party you belong to. Do you have money or not? If you have money, you keep that person in. If you don't, the last election was the first time I've ever seen that not true.
I know some people, though, who if they're a Republican or they're a Democrat, they're strictly voting, party lines. And that's happened in the past. And I mean, I just think that that's not always the case. I know a lot of people who voted this last time for president and did vote for this vote for this president. I think a lot of people are disappointed in how things have turned out.
They are.
But
regardless of what you believe, make sure you vote come November. That's all I ask of anybody. There's like you take the elections here locally, it ends up being like 3,000 people out of 40,000 decide who's in office.
Right.
Go vote. I cannot urge you enough to do that. Make a difference in this world.
And also, not just for like the big, when it comes time to vote, even like city council stuff.
Well, right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
3,000 people is all that voted in that last election and put these in.
I've got a little thing that says, be the change that you want to see in this world.
Yeah,
be that change, So.
We've got more coming. Scotty Ray and Candace, stay close with us as we travel through this morning.
Mark your calendars for the Spring Extravaganza Show coming Saturday, April 23rd, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a brand new location at the old Office Max building at Bonita Lake Circle. From boutique clothes, shoes and accessories, children's clothing, spring plants, jewelry, gift items. Come shop and have lunch with Jack's Sausage Dogs. The Spring Extravaganza Gift Show, Saturday, April the 23rd from 9 until 4 at the old Office Max building in Meridian. Call Becky at 601-480-1776.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
I'm Rick from Meridian. My life changed forever on my way home from work one Friday night, but I was able to focus on getting healthy because I had Richard Schwartz fighting for me every day. He got me the money I needed to get my life back on track.
I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
Charlene Etheridge made the comment, and I done this yesterday also. She says, $100 to fill up my gas tank. Ask me how I like that.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had a quarter of a tank. I filled up $98. A quarter of a tank already in there. Yeah. 98 buckaroos.
Well, I just put like 50 in mine yesterday, and it didn't even,
needle did move.
A little past a half a tank, maybe. Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the meme of the guy that goes to the gas station with his weed eater and sits down and puts the nozzle in there, and it racks up to over $60 to fill up his weed eater. I got a chuckle out of it.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is one of those sad stories that you see that you pass along that across America. High school sweethearts. They finally meet after they graduate. They both, within 8
days of each other,
are both diagnosed with cancer.
And they're only 24 and 23 years old. They've been dating since their senior year of high school. Got engaged on December the 26th in 2020. And we're going to get married on June 10th, but then they've moved their ceremony to April the 9th after they were both diagnosed with cancer. That's a sad story, but hopefully they'll be okay. I don't know what
Michigan is where that happened. So hopefully treatment will help there. This is one of those, I can't believe that really happened, but a nursing assistant in Ohio who's been arrested for rape. And what she was doing, she worked in a nursing home, and she raped elderly men that could not talk. She videoed it. She's been arrested. She is behind bars this morning. You definitely don't want anything like that happen to family members that go off to places like this. Sad. But,
that's awful. Awful.
She's been arrested. Up to 90-year-olds is what she had done there. That somebody in there, they cannot be mentally right in their head to even do something like that.
I'm going to tell you what.
Jamie Lee Curtis, have you seen her? You remember back when she used to do the outfits?
Yeah.
Those Sweating to the Oldies, whatever, with Richard Simmons.
Aerobic-looking type stuff, yeah. She did aerobics.
Yeah,
She's
letting it all hang out now. She says she doesn't look like that anymore. I thought I'd share that picture with you. Here we go. That's Jamie Lee Curtis now.
Well, she's playing a role here, though, right? I think.
We think.
Yeah. I think. I read where she's playing a role, but I don't think that...
That's way different than what she used to look like. Yeah, she's playing a role. But, it's...
Yeah.
What was the one she was in with Arnold Schwarzenegger to where the car and she holds onto the rope and goes up and she hangs onto the ladder in the helicopter?
I don't know, but I don't know that one.
She was like fit back in those days.
She was really fit back in the day. She was.
A beautiful woman.
I ain't talking about anybody in their weight because, I mean, seriously,
Mexico. And we all know these type of things go on in the world of rooster fighting. It's illegal. Same as pit bull fighting, all of that. The cartel runs Mexico. Never forget this. There are people I have heard tell from here that go down and done things like this. But 19 people were gunned down at a chicken fight in Mexico. You can thank the cartel for that. 19 people. That's a mass. That is... The
movie you were thinking of is True Lies.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Moles. I appreciate that. That was a good one.
Yeah. Bill Reinhardt and several others gave us those answers. Thank y'all.
And even, I even like the one that Arnold was in with the former Miss America there of Erased or Eraser. Maybe that was the name of it. That was a pretty good show. Didn't have Jamie Lee in it, but boy, I sure enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Shows you what goes on behind the government, how they get you. And, then you bring up Will Smith. You go back and watch Enemy of the State. Everything that was actually in that movie you thought couldn't happen is reality today of the technology. With that Will Smith stuff, somebody, he got an Oscar. He had to go up on stage after the incident and get his Oscar. And somebody this morning on one of the channels said that it was word that he possibly could get the Oscar taken away, but then they said they weren't going to do that. It's not happening.
They weren't going to do it. So.
He apologized to everybody but Chris Rock when he accepted his speech.
But you'd think an apology, if you really meant an apology like they're saying he's doing now, would have been the first apology, right?
Yeah, it didn't happen. He did this to calm
save
the
face.
Yes, that's the way to do that. Are you a big Twitter user? Do you use that a lot?
I don't ever get on.
Twitter in some areas of the world is huge. Yesterday there was a blackout. About 2 hours it was shut down. People were within withdrawals. Now, keep in mind the Twitter people, of all the millions of people that are on there, about 30% of them are active.
Right.
And they're the ones that jump on people. So don't let that go to your head if somebody comes after you on Twitter. Don't let it mess with you, because it is a certain group that are very active in it.
I think it pays to be very, watchful as to what you get on right now with all this stuff going on, when we've been, kind of hit with possible cyber attack, speaking of cyber attacks and stuff. I mean, like even the little games you play and all this kind of stuff on different media.
My big concern is
I wouldn't
banking.
put my personal information. Right. Banking is a big concern.
Russia and China, they're very good at those things. And never, ever answer on any platform, what's your favorite color, where'd you go to high school,
all
any
that
of those.
Stuff, yeah.
That's a way to get your passwords. That's a no there.
Yeah.
We find out that a Chinese man, he's kind of sick of his wife. He went to the airport. He's been living there for 14 years in the lobby.
Oh,
never goes home. Takes a shower down the thing, comes back, goes to work, stays at the airport. Yeah.
And he wants to smoke and drink as much as he wants to.
It's almost
sounds like marriage is not your thing.
Sounds like Al Bundy when the air conditioner broke and they just went down to the local grocery store and put out the lawn chairs and sit in the frozen food section to keep cool.
Right. Yeah.
That was funny. I don't care who you were. Al Bundy was the face of America.
Oh, good.
Well, Candace, we're almost out of time.
I know it's flown by. But it is a beautiful day today. So enjoy it while you can, because tomorrow is going to be a different story. But
we'll be covering the weather for you street by street all the way through. We'd like to say thank you. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by our following partners: